Hey everybody, I'm Aaron Hanai, your instructor for this class, and I just wanted to introduce myself and tell you a bit about my academic and career pathway. So I was born and raised in Mo'iliili, and actually I still live in the same neighborhood where I grew up. You can even see the KCC campus from my living room window here. So I'm a product of 100% public school education in Honolulu. I graduated from Kaimuki High School with 4 years each of math, science, and mechanical drawing. And then I had no idea what I was going to do for college or if I was even going to go. But then at the last minute, I just decided to go to UH Manoa, and then I picked engineering as my major. Honestly, not really knowing what that was. I just knew that it was popular at the time. And then after the first 2 years, I found that I actually enjoyed the physics prerequisite classes more than the engineering classes. But then thinking ahead to graduation, I knew I wouldn't want a career as a physicist. I would actually prefer to work as an engineer. So in the end, I just ended up changing majors, and then 5 years in college, I graduated when I was 22 years old in physics. But then I was like at the same fork in the road between science and engineering. So I went back to grad school immediately, and then I switched back to engineering. So for my master's degree, I did mechanical engineering. I did research work on underwater laser systems and autonomous underwater robots. And then that took me 3 years to graduate. And then I continued on for my PhD, and then I did research work in feedback control algorithms, kinematics of redundant systems, and autonomous control of anthropomorphic manipulator systems, which is a fancy way to say robot arms. So that took me 7 years to graduate with my PhD. So I was in school for a while, right? So as far as work experience, among the jobs I had in college, I worked for 5 years as a technician for high energy physicists. And just to explain, with that group, the workflow kind of went like the scientists called the shots, defining what experiments needed to be conducted, and they would coordinate with engineers who would design instruments and whatever apparatus based on the design specifications of the scientists, and then the technicians, that was my job, who would fabricate and test the instruments based on the designs of the engineers. So as a technician for 5 years, I built circuits, fabricated instruments in the machine shop for experiments, mostly for particle detectors from supercolliders or from solar neutrinos. And then after college, I spent 8 years as a systems engineer. So I did research and development for a small business, a local small business focused on autonomous underwater vehicles. And then I worked on just countless projects involving thruster control algorithms, battery charging systems, autonomous manipulation, graphical user interfaces, etc. And I really learned a lot on the job, arguably as much as I learned in the classroom. So this is an important aspect of learning that I carry with me even to this day in my role as an instructor. And then in 2011, I wanted to transition from that small robotics company to a larger one, just for better financial stability and security. So during that transitional period on the job search, interviewing at different engineering companies, I picked up a position as a math and physics lecturer at Kapiolani Community College, just to try it out. But then unexpectedly, I found the experience much more rewarding and fulfilling than things I've done in my career as an engineer. So again, I'm at this crossroads, and then I made basically a major life-altering career change at the time, and then since then have become a tenured faculty member at KCC, and have been teaching ever since. So now that you know my background, just know that the culmination of my knowledge and experience in science, engineering, and technology all intersects to provide you with a quality education so that you can pursue the career of your choice like I was able to. Okay, so don't hesitate to ask any questions about the content of the class, or if you just want to talk story about the various projects I've worked on in the past, just let me know. Okay, let's have a great semester. Aloha.